listening to Between Two Bridges, a business-to-business podcast. With your hosts, Anthony R. Destiny, Joe Ferrani, and Jerry Kenna. Interviewing entrepreneurs, business operators, and investors. This episode of Between Two Bridges is sponsored by Paymark Payroll. Payday is the most important day to your most important people, and payday is made easy at www.payyourpeople.com.
Alrighty, we are here. I guess I'm remote, but another episode of Between Two Bridges. I am on location in Chicago. The boys are in Plum Street,
Pittsburgh.
Trying to be consistent, which is one of the things we preach as entrepreneurs and business owners. So I didn't want to skip if I had the opportunity to make it. And we're testing out some capabilities to go worldwide, I guess. We could bring in anybody at this point, assuming we get everything worked out here. But what's new, gents? Jerry, I saw you listed a property. Did you buy that? You flipping it? Care to share on that?
Yeah, so actually I listed two properties. I only shared one on Facebook as of the recording here because the pictures for the other one are kind of shit, not Facebook worthy yet. So we got to get some new pictures for the other one. But I actually listed two properties, just making some moves. Both of them are single family homes. Profits on a monthly rent aren't, they're okay. They're not great. And the values of the properties have gone up. And I feel like I can make a better move in the future, selling the properties, taking the cash, paying off some things, and put myself in a position where I can make some more moves later this year with that capital.
Did you buy those this year, or what's the these projects?
The one that I bought, the one that was on Facebook that you're referring to, I bought in 23. Okay. I had a tenant in it for a year. He just moved out. That was a nice house. I got a good deal on it, and we did some work to it, and it's a great little house. It's not that little. It's a 3-bed, 1-bath, 2-story brick house, 2-car garage in the back. It's a really nice house, and we got a really good deal on it, put some money into it, and I think it should sell for a pretty good number. The other house that I have listed, I bought at the beginning of 22. And that one's a 5-bedroom, 1-bath, 3-story house in Tarentum. And the issue that I have with that house is that with a 5-bedroom house, in order to monetize that house to its maximum benefit, it's tough to find a really good tenant for it. A lot of the tenants that are looking for a 5-bedroom house, you kind of run into some issues. So I've run into a little bit of issues. So I redid that whole house. It's got new flooring all through it, new furnace and air conditioner. It's a nice house as well. 1-car detached garage on that one. And, but again, got a good deal on it and put some money into it. But in a position where it's gone up in value since I bought it. And, I should be able to sell it, take some money, and put myself in a position that with that additional capital, I'll be able to make some moves in the next 6 or 8 months. And what I'm finding is, you know, when I bought all my properties that I own on my own are in one specific area, and I own at this point, I have 9 units. I have 2 3-unit properties and then 3 single family units. And I'm selling off 2 of the single families. I'm going to hold on to 1 single family because it's a small little house. It's really easy to rent. I've had 1 tenant in there since I bought it, and I don't really need to sell it, and it's rented, and I don't really need to upset that apple cart. And then the 3-unit properties are very profitable because for real estate investors, they know when you have a multi-unit property like that, your cash flow is much better. You can get more for your money when you're buying multi-unit properties because when you're selling a multi-unit property, your customer base is smaller. The only people that are looking to buy a multi-unit property are investors. When you're looking to sell a single family, you're out there selling to the open market to people that are going to live there. So it's more competitive. It's a little bit harder. So you can typically get more for your money when you're buying a multifamily as an investor. So you can get 3 units all paying you rent instead of 1 unit paying you rent. And then, if you have that 1 unit and somebody moves out, it goes down to 0. Where if you have a 3 unit, somebody moves out, it's still 2/3. And the 3-unit properties, they cash flow there's much more profit in the 3 units. So my focus now is to lean more toward multi-unit properties. And I'm also looking to maybe leave that area and push more north and more, maybe like more North Hills, Shaler, different areas. I flipped a house in 23 and did really well. So I'm open to looking for more deals like that where I can maybe flip some homes. I also like the Shaler area for that. So looking in that area for that, but just trying to position myself, always looking to improve my situation, always looking, that's what we do. Every day we're trying to improve, right? So
you're giving out all your trade secrets here.
That's what we do. That's what the podcast is about. So every day we try to figure out a better way to put ourselves in a better position. And I decided that those 2 properties, they were both empty. And I thought, you know what, with the market the way it is, there's not a whole lot for sale in that price point that's move-in ready and in that kind of condition. And I thought, you know what, I might be able to sell these, take that cash, roll it into maybe a multifamily property in a different neighborhood that might be maybe a little bit more of an upscale neighborhood, something like that. Just trying to put myself into a little bit of a different position. And so that's what the plan is. Just trying to reposition myself in my investments. So that's all. And so I just listed them yesterday and the day before, one and then the other, as we're recording this. So I know that I can see on Zillow, the activity on Zillow. And as of now, I mean, there's been a lot of views and a lot of saves, and hopefully we get some people in there to get those sold, and we can move forward with those and see what comes next.
Yeah, you said it before. You got to position yourself to be able to get out no matter what the situation. So
right.
With those houses, you can get out, and there's always investors looking at multi-units.
Yeah, and if you're looking at it, I mean, any real estate investor will tell you, when you buy a single family house, if you're, by the time you pay the property taxes and the mortgage and the insurance and the maintenance on the property and things like that, I mean, to make a profit of $150 or $200 a month on a single family home is pretty typical. And but if you can buy a multi-unit property that, maybe you have a 3-unit and each unit's giving you $900 a month, but you have your, so 900 times 3, you're at $2,700, and you could be in that with your property taxes, your mortgage, and your insurance for $1,400 or $1,500. That's a lot more profit every month. Yeah. And so that's kind of where I'm focusing. When I first started buying, I was buying everything that was a good deal. And now I'm looking at it like, okay, well, we're established, we're good. Now let's try to be a little bit smarter about this. And I see that there's an opportunity to liquidate a couple properties and then take that money and invest it in some other properties that can put more money in my pocket every month and just make better decisions.
The amount of homes that are being built in the area is unbelievable. Like, I live in O'Hara, so there's obviously not a lot of land left to build on in O'Hara, Fox Chapel, and Oakmont, same way. Plum's pretty, I mean, there's a lot of land there, but they did in the 80s what like Harmony, Marshall, what these townships are doing now. And it is unbelievable to see, the sold signs and empty lots, the like strip, what are they, like Hondos, like
townhouses and stuff.
Brownstones, like the terminal and the strip is amazing.
Yeah.
So they're
building like crazy, but the thing is that these new builders, they're not building anything for less than $400,000. So for somebody that wants to buy a house, like these houses that I have listed, one's listed for like 160, one's listed for 180. To buy a house, it's tough to find a house for 160 or 180 nowadays. So if you can buy a 3-bedroom house with AC that you can move into and for $180,000 with a garage, I mean, that's
good to go. But yeah, I don't know. It's just it's unique that a lot of people, I think the younger generation, not to speak for them exactly, I think they want to live in those tiny like homes with like neighbors and not have a yard to maintain. And for the longest time, I thought people were nuts. But then you start getting busy at work or in life and you're running around and you're like, I don't want to cut the grass. I don't want to have to mulch flower beds. Like you start adding all the chores up and you're like, and plus like my house, I just redid everything. So I'm lucky that I don't have any mechanical issues, but like there's still projects. Like there's still like the kids peeled the paint off the garage door. You got to paint it. You got to, I want to put a porch on the back. Well, these places you move in and you don't touch anything. It's done. Yeah. Everything is done. I've been all over Western PA the last couple of days, weeks here. And there's a lot going on. It's pretty remarkable to think that there's a need for that many homes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like that whole 279 corridor is just blowing up.
Yep.
So.
Sure, you get hit with, I guess, take us on the back side of that. So from a tax perspective, let's just say you made 50 grand off the sale of a house. Mm-hmm. You were talking about rolling it forward. Do you get to write off that if you put it into a new property? Like, what is the strategy you're looking to pull off, I guess, this tax year, assuming you would sell those properties?
Yeah, so there's a couple different plays that you can do there. Both of these properties I've owned for over a year. So the reason why that's important is if you've owned them for less than 12 months, they're considered ordinary income, which is taxed at whatever tax rate you're in. So if you make $200,000 a year and you're in a 24 or 28% tax bracket, you pay 28% on those gains. And then that sale of that house could actually potentially push you into an even higher tax bracket where maybe you're paying 32 or more. So that's important to note that if you've held the asset for less than 12 months, it could be really expensive. For these properties that we're speaking of, I've owned them for both for over 12 months. So they're considered a capital gain. The current capital gain rates are anywhere from 0 to 20%. In my particular tax bracket, and most people, I'm at the 15% range, 15% for the feds, 3.07 for the state. So I'll be on the hook for about 18.07% of the profits on those buildings whenever they sell. The other option is what a lot of people may have heard of, is called a 1031 exchange. So a 1031 exchange is when they also call it a like kind exchange. So it's when you sell a capital gain or sell a capital asset, something you've owned for over a year, and you convert it into another like kind asset. Now, you'll see stuff on TikTok or you'll have people talk about it, and they make it seem way simpler than it really is. It is a complicated process. You can't just declare it. You can't come to your tax guy and go, well, I bought it. I bought another one. So it's all even Steven, right? You have to, there's time requirements, and we could do probably a whole episode on 1031 exchanges. We probably should.
I got a guy that's a professional in that regard.
Oh, yeah? There's 1031 intermediaries.
The guy I bought FlexSource from is a financial advisor for Duncan, and that's what he specializes in.
1030. Yeah. So you have to hire a 1031 intermediary.
Yeah. And they come up with this plan where they built high rises, and you can buy like whatever your investment is. You could buy 7 units in the high rise to offset whatever your cost is. Or you could buy 3 floors of the high rise.
Nice.
So the company built the high rise. It's a physical thing, you know?
Yeah, it's smart.
Yeah, so it's pretty slick.
So basically you have to, if you're selling your property and you make, you know, say, like you said, $50,000, when you sell the property, you have to declare at the time of the sale that it's going to be a 1031 exchange. And at the closing, the proceeds from the property go to an intermediary. They take the profits. You never actually see them. And they hold the money in escrow until you close on the next property. You have, I believe, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up, but I believe you have 45 days to identify the next asset, and you have 90 days, or it might be 90 days and 120 days. I'll have to look up the exact dates. But you have a certain number of days that you have to identify your next asset, and you have to close on that next asset. And then that intermediary comes to the closing with a check to purchase the next property. So that money goes directly to the next property. You never actually get it. The other thing that a lot of people don't realize is if you have a mortgage on that property. So say you bought that property, or you sold the property, you had a $150,000 mortgage on it, and you have a $50,000 profit. The next property, you have to also have at least a $150,000 mortgage on it. You can't take the profits and then pay cash for the next asset. You have to have at least the same amount of financing on the next asset. They don't want you taking your profits and using it to buy an asset in cash. So basically they want you to buy something at least in that value or more is the idea.
But
so
but like, why?
Well, I think they don't want you
in debt or what?
Well, yeah, I think they don't want you, to keep you in debt and to basically make it so that you can't take your profits and pay cash for a smaller, less valuable asset.
Right, and hide it. And this isn't for guys like us and what he's doing. This is for the ultra wealthy.
Yeah, so but also keep in mind, you're not evading or eliminating the tax, you're deferring the tax. So that 1031 is deferring that profit. So that $50,000 worth of deferred tax or taxable income gets attached to the next asset. So when you sell the next asset, you can 1031 the next one. And you can keep 1031ing every year. You can keep doing it.
Sooner or later, the bill's
kicking the can. Right. And eventually, when you liquidate, you have to pay the capital gains on all of the assets that you've 1031 from the very beginning. So
we talked about literally kicking the can if we die. So we 1031 until we're 80 and then die. Our kids are going to have to pay all this money, you're saying.
The benefit of it, though,
taxes, buddy.
The benefit about it is that you can technically, capital gains rates change. In the Obama administration, Obama increased the capital gains. The Trump administration, he reduced them back down. They were down under the Bush administration. They fluctuate. So a lot of times you'll see investors that'll 1031 during the high rate times and then liquidate their investments during low rate times. There's also times where presidential candidates have flirted with the idea about eliminating capital gains rates, capital gains taxes. And
a lot of shit would go for sale then and there.
Trump has talked about eliminating the capital gains tax, which would make all these 1031 people all of a sudden liquidate all their stuff. And I don't know if necessarily that's a great idea. I think lowering it down, but it's one of those things. And if you watch the debate, which I know the three of us did, he talked about when he implemented his tax bill, he reduced taxes like corporate taxes, but it increased revenue from corporate tax. And the reason being is that it allows business to make more money, which increases taxable income, which even at the lower rate increases tax revenue.
Pretty simple stuff.
It is. It's hard for some people to wrap their head around that a lower tax rate could equate to more tax revenue. But the kind of thing, historically, when the government has decreased capital gains tax rates, you heard that, yeah. historically, when a government has decreased capital gains tax rates, revenue from capital gains tax has increased because people sell off their investments. Like, it's time to sell off investments. Let's get rid of these 1031s that are sitting on our books and take advantage of these lower rates. And I think that's a lot of what happened with the Trump tax bill. Whenever the corporations all of a sudden had these lower tax rates, now it's down to 21%. We saw a lot of companies that were hiding money offshores that were all of a sudden bringing money back into the United States because the tax rates were more favorable. So that's the kind of thing we can
touched base
expect from that.
About like the tax rates on the debate episode. And as I was like thinking about it, and I was like, if you're making $125,000 a year, you're doing well. And if they raise it 10%, what are you paying? An extra $125 a year? Like, relax. Or $1,250 a year. Like, people just bitch. Like,
yeah, I think
they're not going to raise the tax rate to 85%. Like, that's not in their cards. It's not what they're going to do. They're talking about like 3% here.
Yeah.
And now a brief word from our sponsor.
This episode of Between Two Bridges is sponsored by Paymark Payroll. Are you tired of spending countless hours juggling payroll calculations, tax filings, and compliance regulations? Well, say goodbye to that chore and let Paymark Payroll take the burden off your shoulders. With our secure online portal, you can access your business information from any internet location, even your phone. Employees will love the ability to receive direct deposits, and they can access all their pay stubs, tax forms, and information through their own portal. Focus on growing your business while we take care of the rest. With top-notch customer support, we're always here to assist you with anything, at any time. Don't let payroll stress hold you back. Choose Paymark Payroll and experience the freedom to thrive. Contact us at payyourpeople.com for a personalized consultation and a demonstration of our powerful payroll solutions, and see how Paymark Payroll can better your workflow. That's payyourpeople.com. Join the growing list of satisfied businesses that have embraced the convenience and efficiency of Paymark. Payday made easy. Your business deserves nothing less than the best, and that's exactly what Paymark Payroll delivers. Now back to the show.
But yet again, like when we talk locally, Allegheny County, we get taxed to death in Allegheny County.
We sure do.
Yeah.
Like everything you buy, sell, eat, drink,
With fuel in your vehicle.
Everything. I saw a breakdown on a pump one time. Pennsylvania, they're 75 cents a gallon.
Highest, yeah.
Yeah, going towards something else.
I mean, Pennsylvania Turnpike's the highest toll road in the country.
Yeah, it cost me $7.90 to get here tonight.
Yeah.
I don't have an easy pass in the van. I have it in my personal vehicle.
Yeah.
But I never put them in the company vehicle. Well, I never put them in the company vehicles because I don't want the guys going on the turnpike.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. So if they had to pay out of their pocket, they're not going to go. But if there's an easy pass on it, they're going to be like,
there you go.
Well, that's pretty close to Monroeville. I'll just get on Monroeville and get off and drive 20 minutes back, like. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's that's the kind of stuff that I don't think we have. The voter, the person, it's just, the turnpike was supposed to be free. After they paid for the initial install of the turnpike, it was supposed to be a free state road.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's a fact.
And they've eliminated all the tool workers and all that payroll.
Yeah. Now they're talking about they're going to get rid of the toll booths, which is a long time coming. I don't understand why they're even still standing. But if you go to Massachusetts, and I said this years ago because my brother used to live up in New Hampshire for the Air Force, and if you go to the Massachusetts Turnpike, the Massachusetts Turnpike is set up like
Cranberry.
No, yeah, but it's like a video game, like a racing game where you get checkpoints. Okay, so there's all the exits and on-ramps are just exits and on-ramps, but every so many miles down the turnpike, there's an easy pass thing or cameras, and they bill you, or so basically you get every so many miles, you get hit with like 75 cents, and it's basically just checkpoints.
Yeah.
And it would eliminate toll booths. It eliminates the congestion at the on-ramps and off-ramps having to go through toll booths. It eliminates the employees at the collecting change.
Well, they don't even take money on PA anymore.
Right. which we just went to Ohio. My wife and I went to Cleveland, and in Ohio, not only do they have people working the toll booths, but they have gates that if you don't pay you can't even go. So if you have an Easy Pass in your car and it didn't read your Easy Pass, now you're sitting there trying to get a ticket because you can't even go through it because the freaking thing won't open.
Yeah.
It's like you go over the freaking border and you go back 15 years in time.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to come up with a system where, like, if you get on in Donegal and you get off on Route 8, and if you get there, 20 minutes before you should have been there, they just bang you for speeding.
I've said that for years. That I'm waiting for that, saying, well, your average speed was this, so here's your speeding ticket.
Yeah.
Yep. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the way it's the way it's gonna be, man. It is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. You know? So you flew today, bud.
I did. Yeah.
Family on a flight.
New airport's coming together. I guess we get that next year. See how that turns out. But
what airline did you fly?
I'm a Southwest guy, so
so how'd that Boeing 737 fare for you?
I was good, man.
No doors,
but
no doors flew off.
I guess to tie it to this show, like around Christmas time, they come out with credit card rewards and things. So you basically, if you play your cards right, and we all have families, this trip was free.
No, don't worry. Us retailers, we paid for it.
But take advantage of points and travel rewards and all that stuff instead of swiping a debit card is philosophy I've used.
That's something you can do.
Themselves into massive debt doing that, but if you're responsible,
right, at an older age, it can be very beneficial. I think I get 3.5% or 5% cash back on my American Express, and I buy just supplies with it. I just started buying.
Would be very good.
Yeah. So it depends on where you're using it. I just started using it, just like you said. Like 10 years ago, I'd have just maxed it out.
Yeah.
Made the minimum. Been like, whatever. It's what it is.
Yeah. But rates are like 30% now, so you never get out of that hole.
Yeah, I applied for financing through a dealership to buy a van. What a mistake that was. Ally Financial quoted me at 13.2%.
Good Lord.
On $52,000. I don't even want to do the math. I was like, I'm not interested. They were like, well, we have another company. I was like, I'll figure it out. Like, so we're calling a local bank and going to go that route. He said new vehicle commercial 6.25, I think. So
that's pretty good, right?
Yep.
I'd take that.
Yeah, I think I paid 6.25 when I bought the other van.
Yeah.
But Ally's tough because they're just loaning money to anybody. They don't care.
Yeah.
So you're paying for everybody else's mistakes at that point.
Yep.
So we'll see a new van here shortly, Joe?
I got to do something. I figure when you're going all home delivery, you can't afford to have a van with 180,000 miles on the road and another one with 130. So
see what happens when the owner has to drive the delivery van.
Yeah, when all you're driving the van,
he's getting a new van. He
suddenly needs a heated steering wheel.
Well, I think one of the big ones is that all the vans now come with that front end crash detection where it'll stop, which, when you're doing a million things as an owner of a business and driving a van and you're putting in 15-hour days, sooner or later, that's what got me last time I was delivering. I wrecked. I bought the cleaners and was running the delivery routes, and I was at a red light in Sarver. Me personally, I was driving. He was at the red light. I kind of dozed off for like a split second and just smashed into the back of him at like 45 miles an hour. It's the only accident I've ever been in, and I honestly was sleeping, like just kind of like dozed off for just a split second. You can only do so many 16, 15-hour days until it gets you.
Yeah.
And at 40, I can't do as many as I did at 30. It's one of those things. So, but we'll get there. Somebody's coming back from vacation next week. That'll help. So it is what it is. If you're looking for a job and watching this show, come on, get. Yeah.
Delivery.
So, anything planned for your trip there in Chicago other than the festivities of a wedding?
This show will come out later, but 40 is staring at me in the face. So hopeful for this year, you could say. I guess if you went back to episode 1 to where I'm at now, it's been some pretty consistent growth. Looking to get into lending probably third, fourth quarter here. So we'll see some scaling, which is the exciting part. I did that for a local financial institution in terms of scaling, so very excited about that part. But laying the foundation, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of hours. Things are booked probably through mid-August, so digging it. We'll see where we're at the end of the year. I would like to, I'll have to sit down with Jerry probably, but post as small as profit as possible. If I got to buy something big at the end of the year, that, I certainly won't decline that opportunity. But we stress a lot of things on here with taxes and things, and timing, and we have the election coming up, so all these play into your bottom line. You make these decisions in December versus January that can have a big implication on that tax bill come April. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to hold you away from the family on the road traveling.
Yeah. It's a pleasure to be a part of this. It's good to see you guys closing on buildings and things. I think back, a year ago when we started, I forget when our first episode was, but I know we've been very consistent in releases, so hopefully people are continuing to listen. Certainly pick up things every time, so it's good.
Yeah, it's been pretty fun.
Yeah, I think we should take this opportunity to get Fed's gift out of the way. Congratulations, Kathy and Brandon, on the new marriage. And we'll give them a shout out to our 32 listeners and happy wedding gift, I guess.
Yes, Joe, you're next, right?
Mine, I'm waiting for grass to grow, man. My daughter's on my shit. I have 22 yards of topsoil in the corner of my yard.
I mean, I got a nice yard if that's all you need.
It might not get spread till October. So we'll get there. Yeah. She knows what's up. She knows I'm 100% committed at this point.
Jerry, have you listed for the open yet?
Nothing yet. I've had some conversations with some people. Yeah. Worked with Nate. We have a website, a page that's going to go on the website that's about to go live. Yeah. So we're getting there.
Got 3 projects I want to get done, then I'll give you a call about that. Maybe join your website there.
Sounds good. Traffic.
Joe, you listing? You joining us? You gonna take advantage?
Hell yeah, I'm listing. I'm gonna be working the whole time anyway, hopefully. We have actually kind of passed it up because it wasn't very popular in the news realm, but the USGA will be in Fox Chapel August 1st through the 4th with the U.S. Senior Women's Open at Fox Chapel Golf Course. So I had gotten some emails about some stuff that I'm working on with them for that. It's not It's not nearly the draw of the U.S. Men's Open.
I don't know. I mean, do you know U.S. Senior Women player?
Annika Sorenstam will be playing in this.
I thought that was a tennis player.
No, she's the woman that teed it up with the men. She shot 59. Swedish. Walked away from golf at her prime to have a family, which not a lot of men would do and haven't. But when you're the female and you want to have a family, you kind of got to devote yourself to that, I guess. Yeah. So, but so they'll be in the area like pretty much the week after this episode airs. So might be a good chance to meet some people, throughout that organization.
Maybe we can set something up.
Yep. Or we could go streaking with a B2B flag.
That would be fun too.
Right across 16 green.
We have a flag. We need a flag.
Hey,
I just carry the bridge, maybe icy light sign across.
No.
All publicity is good publicity.
That's right.
That's right. We still got to get Mitch for our billboard shot.
Oh, that's right. He signed up for that. We got some stuff in the works. I think we've figured out what we needed to figure out, and this is like the last hurdle of like getting this like out of town guest on the show. So now that we have that, we figure this out, then we can just do our thing, where it's been a lot of trial and error to this point.
Yeah.
So
I think Jerry says it's not a straight climb up. So
nope. It's ups and downs and overs, and
yeah,
eventually we'll, hopefully it'll take off. If not, we're having a lot of fun, and I know we have some loyal people listening. I mean, I get a lot of people that talk about it and talk to me about it and really enjoy the show. And honestly, like, I'm just enjoying it. So I don't really pay attention to the numbers that much. And every once in a while I log on and see it, and I'm kind of surprised when I do. And it's kind of neat to watch. I don't obsess over it. I get enough shit to obsess over. But honestly, the other thing too is that, and I hope you guys think the same thing, but we have stressful, busy lives running businesses, and this is the night every week that I get to just like air it out.
Yeah.
And so this is a stress relief for me.
Yeah,
this is an outlet. And so I enjoy this. This is something that I look forward to every week, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. So I think we got to keep going.
Well, I've been in dart leagues, bowling leagues, golf leagues, and that's like I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. Maybe a little bit too much if you ask Sarah, but to me, this kind of gets me refocused for the end of the week to get. And then like also there's like times where like we'll say stuff on this show and it maybe not resonate at the time, but I think you said a couple episodes ago, like, you're not done until you quit.
Yep.
And like, I've had some struggles in the last couple weeks, but like, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to quit. They're going to have to drag me out of here. They're going to have to padlock the door. They're going to have to seize my house. Like, I'm not going to give it up. They're going to have to seize it.
Yeah.
So
this is an opportunity to talk to other people, talk to you guys, like-minded. Gives me a way to, it's an outlet. I enjoy it. I love the fact that we're impacting people that are listening, and it's actually impacting people's lives, and people are learning, and it's helping other people too. But honestly, I just enjoy the fact that we're doing it, and I do it for us. I'm enjoying it. So I think that's what matters.
And the shit's real.
It's real. And I think that people enjoy it because I think that we legitimately enjoy it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Blood, sweat, and tears, right, our Destiny?
That's right. My hands are no longer typing hands.
Well, I guess we could call this episode "The Show Must Go On," even from Chicago, huh?
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
I'm going to go get a steak.
There you
go. And I will see you Friday night.
Sounds good, bud.
Yeah, man. I'm looking
forward to see you guys. Good luck with the properties, Jerry. Joe, let us find you an engineer.
Oh, we got one. He's just low.
So, all right, guys.
All right, well, that's another episode. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to Between Two Bridges, a business-to-business podcast. Find and follow us on your preferred podcast streaming platform. Like and subscribe, and leave us a rating and review. You can join us socially on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Yes, we still call it Twitter. You can email the show at info@betweentwobridgespodcast.com. Until next time, make it till you rake it.